Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I am Tavi.
And today we're reviewing Cascadia Junior from Flat Out Games and AEG. Cascadia Junior, as the name implies, is the younger, more child-friendly, accessible version of Cascadia. This is going to take the general gameplay loop of Cascadia, dialing it down a bit, making it a bit more accessible, and hopefully appealing to younger audiences, making it a game that they can play. I'll give you a brief overview of how the game plays, and then we'll dive into our thoughts and opinions. The general idea of the game is you're going to be adding tiles to your tableau, trying to basically make matches between the animal types and the terrain types. So for example, each player starts with a tile in front of them. On my first turn, I'll go ahead and grab this tile and put it over here because I think that's going to be helpful. I'll explain why. Well, I'll explain why now. I've created 2 snow and I have 2 birds, and you're trying to make matches out of terrains and out of animal types. Tavi, do you want to go ahead and grab a tile?
I will grab this.
Beautiful. And you got double foxes already. Double foxes on the wheat, which is perfect for what you're trying to do. We'll add a new tile to display, and I'll go ahead and I'll gather this one. Now, this tile over here, I'm going to orient it this way, because this way, I'm getting a group of elk on forest, and I've also gotten 3 snow. Actually, I can do even better. If I go over here, I get 3 snow, I have 2 bears, and 2 elk, keeping in mind that you need at least 3 for anything to be worthwhile. This 3 snow at the end of the game means, not right now, but at the end of the game, I'll be able to gather a tile and put it into my display. Go ahead and take your turn.
I am going to take this.
Another fox wheat. Oh my gosh.
And now I have a fox and a wheat.
So, right now, you're going to go ahead and gather 3 fox tokens. For the animals, you're going to place them out as you play the game. So, Tavi's going to add those 3 fox tokens. You got another, oh, you did it perfectly. You gather fox, and you put it onto your display. So,
Can I have
you want the grass?
Too.
So, wheat, technically speaking, you take the wheat at the end of the game. You take the terrain types at the end of the game, not during the game. But honestly, we kind of do it during the game because it's a little more fun to grab them. Just to make sure not to do it twice. But either way, so right now, he's gathered the terrain type and the animal. I'll go and take my snow. And we're going to rinse and repeat this process, taking turns every single turn until we've gathered 10 tiles in addition to our starting 1, ending with 11 tiles total. As you gather tiles, you're making various sets of animals and terrain types, and at the very end of the game, you're going to flip over those tiles, flip over your tiles, and you can see every tile is worth either 1 or 2 pine cones, and that is going to be your score in the game. The number of pine cones. So random, yes, random. 1 or 2 pine cones per type that you're adding to your board.
Can you take your turn?
Oh, you actually want to play the whole game? Do you want to play the whole game?
Yeah.
We'll play the whole game. It's that quick. It's that quick. We're going to go ahead and do so. So I'm going to gather this. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to try to go fast in this turn. I got my 3 bears over here. Although I will say I didn't throw out all the tokens, so we might have to be a little bit more restrictive. Okay, go ahead.
I will just take this hawk, and now I did this. I'm going to have a 2 hawk, but I'm going to need 6 wheat now.
Oh, well, you're going to go work to 6, because in general, once you have 6 wheat, you'll get 2 full wheat tokens. Now, we're not going to play a full game. I'll take another turn or 2. Okay, so I'll gather this, and I'll throw it down over here, like so, because I think that could be useful. Okay, your turn.
Ooh, just what I was wanting.
Beautiful, okay.
3 bears.
3 bears, beautiful. So you're going to take 3 bear tokens. There may not be 3 bear tokens, because again, I didn't pour everything out, because I wasn't planning on playing a full game. But there you go, there you got a bear.
There are only 3 bear tokens.
I'll gather this, which is actually going to be helpful. So I'm now up to 6 winter over here, but I also got 3 forest, and I have 3 elk.
Salmon?
3 elk over here means I'm going to take an elk as well. And then go ahead and take 1 more turn, and then we'll just call it at that point. Actually, you should take more turns, actually.
Oh, wait, what?
Beautiful. 3 birds.
And, can I show something?
Sure, go ahead.
Look at the colors.
Well, before we do that, let's go ahead, before we do that, let's go ahead and flip over our tokens. So again, we would do a full 10 plus your starting tile for 11 tokens. But in this case, Tavi has 7 points, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Tavi is going to win the game. Now, the thing Tavi is trying to show you over there is going to be the slightly more advanced mode. The mode where if you flip these cards over, you have specific patterns you're trying to make on the animals. Instead of any grouping of 3 animals.
None of these animals would be correct.
Yeah, none of the birds would have scored. In fact, you're right. None of your animal types would have scored because they're all the opposite types of patterns. So you do need to go for a little bit more planning when you try to go in that mode. In fact, I think mine as well would also not have scored. Both of us would have scored no points for our animals if we were trying to match those. That is basically how you play Cascadia Junior. You're going to be making little pattern sets, gathering various tiles, and then seeing who scores the most pine cones at the end of the game.
My favorite thing. Taking the fox and eating it. Oh, wait. Now I just lost 2 points.
This is a good time for the review. So, diving into the review, let's go ahead and talk about what we like, don't like, and all that. What do you like about the game?
I like the colors, the pictures, and the wave points. But what I think you could do to make it better is by making the red-tailed hawk, chincook salmon, one of them being the different way, so they're not the same.
Well, so it actually, I believe you're allowed to rotate or flip, so you could do either way.
Oh.
Yeah, you actually could. That's why they have it that way. The only 3 patterns you can actually make are listed there. For myself, there's a few things I like about the game. I do find the placing little tokens onto your terrain and making your own little panoramic landscapes and all that. That's like a little satisfying, little fun little puzzle for kids to be a little more engaged. I think the game itself is very easy to teach and learn. You're basically going for 2 pattern matching, so it is very accessible. The things I didn't love with the game is, first of all, I do not love the variable pine cone scores. You can have somebody getting 1 or 2 points for the same exact action. That means you can get 50% as many points for the same thing as someone else did just because of luck of the draw. Now, hopefully it evens out over the tokens you draw, but I just found that to be, I guess it keeps people engaged in the sense that who's winning, we don't really know, but it does so at the cost of like any real connection to your actions versus winning the game, which I didn't love overall.
So really it's just like, oh yeah, I got 1 pine cone, it's for nothing.
Yeah. Outside of that, I do think I found the game to be a drop simpler than I personally would like. Now, again, I'm technically not the target audience. I think in general, I say technically because I think in general, whenever you're playing a game with kids, an ideal kids game or family game should be one in which both parties are engaged. And there are many kids games that I am significantly more engaged. That said, as the person playing with the children, I thought it was a little too basic for me and not overly rewarding. But how did you feel about it?
I felt good.
You liked it? Was it good, great? Was it bad, okay, good, or great?
Okay.
It was okay. Okay.
But I have one thing. He knows a lot of children games, but he does not win most of them.
That's a shame. It's a real shame. Yeah.
I won most of them. Like Star Realms. And this.
Anyways, so for my overall thoughts on it is while I like the fact that there's an accessible Cascadia game, I will say I was a little let down by this one and found it a little bit too simple and not as engaging. And so for me, rating-wise, I'm going to come in at a 3 out of 5. It was fine, but I would have wanted a bit more different. I don't know what I wanted exactly, I guess, but this was a little too on the simple side for what I personally would like out of a Cascadia Junior. That's basically it. That is our review of Cascadia Junior from Flat Out Games and AEG. Until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co.
Bye-bye.
And have a good one.